Okay, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge on this event. It seems like every day brings news of a company who has just released a new app built with Flutter or one that has switched over to Flutter. It's clear that companies of all sizes, from enterprise companies with multiple development teams to lean startup with only one engineer, benefits from Flutter. Do you guys know Google, Toyota, BMW, eBay, even Alibaba using Flutter for building their apps? Now you may ask, what is Flutter? Flutter is a free and open source framework created by Google. It helps developers to create native application with one code base. This session is also based on Flutter. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anwar and Abdullah. I'm a Flutter developer at Takein, also the founder of the Flutter Word, the second most popular YouTube channel for Flutter. I love open source. Till now, I created more than 30 plus projects on GitHub, which have more than 15K stars. Even my Flutter admin panel project ranked top at GitHub trending page. Still now, I have more than 5K followers, which make me most following GitHub user in Bangladesh. Today, I'll talk about how you can make your app stand out by styling widget, create a dynamic theme, and a toggle between available themes. One of the greatest features of Flutter is that it gives you absolute control of every pixel on the screen. This allows developers to implement the designer vision without compromise. So now most of you guys may ask, what is theming actually? Theming is a process of using set of colors, font, shape, and design styles through our app. Or you can say it's a way to centralize all your stylistic decision in one place. This is the app that I'm going to show you how you can build it with Flutter. Obviously, it contains actually two pages, one for the onboarding, or you can say it a welcome screen. Another one is home page, which shows us list of jobs, and at the bottom right corner it has a floating action button. Once you click the button, it will toggle the theme for you, a theme for us. So if you install Flutter on your device, then you can create new Flutter project using Flutter create and your project name. I'm using GoJobs here. This is my project structure. I create a folder called assets, which contain my icons and images. Inside the lib directory, I create a folder called constant.dirt, which contain all of our constant files like color, font style, default padding, other kind of stuff. And then create a file called theme.dirt, which contain our light theme and dirt theme. Now come to our pubspec.yml. On pubspec.yml, I added three packages. First one for Flutter SVG, which help us to draw SVG icon in our app. I'm using custom SVG in this app. That's why I'm using this Flutter SVG package. And then I'll add I added Google Fonts, which help us to use any fonts from fonts.google.com pretty easily. At the end, I'm using Get. Actually, most of the time we use GetX for state management, but this is a pretty simple app that I'm going to show you. There is no state management, but I'm using GetX for toggling the theme. And GetX makes it pretty easy to toggle the theme. That's why I add GetX here. And also define our icon and image directory in our assets. So now come to our constant.dirt. I already mentioned you guys that all of our constant stuff will be there. As you can see, our primary color and a blue color. And also I created two sections, one for the light theme, dark theme. Our secondary color have two variants, one for the light theme, another one for the dark theme. Same for text color, body text color, two variant. But on Flutter by default they're using white for the light theme and a white background for the light theme, and we use white color for our app. That's why I don't define any background color for light theme, but we're using custom background color for dark theme. That's why I define BG color dark theme. This one. At the end, I define default padding and default border radius. Now come to our theme.dirt. So obviously it supports light and dark theme. So we need to have the two theme, one for the light theme, another one for dark theme. This is our light theme data. This one is the dark theme data. In Flutter, you can just create a light theme and dark theme. Only one line of code. Just define your brightness to brightness.light for light theme, and for dark theme, just define the brightness to brightness.dark. It will create two different themes for you. But what I'm going to do, I'm just using those same theme, just modify it as our requirement. Also, I'm using Poppins text font. That's why I define this Poppins text font theme data.light text theme using Google Fonts. Or maybe you can use, instead of theme data, you can use text theme.context.text theme. It totally depends on you. Now come to our material app. I don't like this default banner at the top right corner. That's why I set it false. Define our light theme and dark theme. And on starting, I'm calling the onboarding screen. We are not created it yet. Let's create our onboarding screen. This is our onboarding screen, which is a stateless widget. And this is the preview of our onboarding screen. It contains an image, then text, and a button. Inside the column, it has image, text, and button. So let's define the image here inside the column. Inside the expanded widget, I define our image, which is a feet of boxfit.cover. Boxfit.cover. So why I'm using expanded here actually expanded does it takes I want this image to take 50% of the width of the height, sorry, 50% of the height, and other 50% of the height for this text and button. That's why I'm using expanded here. Now add this text. Looking for a dream, which is a kind of big text. That's why I'm using theme of context, text theme, and heading 5. Flutter gives us theming for all kind of text. If you don't know about this, those are the scale category here. Here I'm using heading 5. Typeface is Roboto, and font is regular, and font size is 24. So if you want bigger size, then you may use heading 4, heading 3, 2, 1, or it probably depends on your style, what font size you want to use, and you can choose one from here. It has button, font theme, text theme for button, caption, overline, everything. So now come to our code. So I'm using a heading 5, but a heading 5 has a font width of normal, but we want a bold font width. So what I did, I just copied the heading 5 copy width, the heading 5 style, and modified the font width as our required font, which is the font width bold, and then define the text here. This is a normal text, body text. Now let's create this primary button. This is our primary button, which is the elevated button. Here I define the text, background color, add some padding, and rounded corner. But the question is, typically on our app, we need to use this primary button in a lot of places, minimum 7 to 8 places. So what you really want? Do you really want to use the same style for all of the place? Obviously not. That's why the best practice and what I really recommend to define our primary button style in our theme, and Flutter will allow us to do that. How can we do that? In our theme data, we have a parameter called elevated button theme, which is a elevated button theme data, or I just copy the style and paste it here and define it in our elevated button theme. Now check our button. I just remove the style and just define elevated button, and on phrase and text, it works perfectly. So in future, let's say if we want to change the color of our button, then just go to our theme and change the color of a button. It applies, it's everywhere. Now, if we turn the dark theme of our app, it looks like this, but we want this. So what's the difference? The first difference is the image. We use different image for the dark theme, and the background color. Obviously, this is the default background color that Flutter gives us for the dark theme, but this is what I want. So how we can show different image for different theme. So for that we need to know if we are on dark theme or we are on light theme, and we can get this by using theme of contents context dot brightness. If the brightness is light, that means we are on light theme. If the bright theme, then I'm using the light image, otherwise I'm using the dark image. Now let's change the background color. So let's go because we need to change the background colors for dark theme. Yeah, on Flutter we can change our scaffold background color on each scaffold, but we want to use this color for all of our screen. That's why we define it on our theme data. On theme data, there is a scaffold background color, and I define a BG color for dark theme. And voila, it worked perfectly fine, and this is what we want. So as you can see how easy it is to use dark and light theme in Flutter. Only a few tweaks and you are ready to rock. Now come to our home screen, which is also a stateless widget. And at the top it contains a text called jobs, which is a text theme of heading 5. And then this is our job card. This is a container with color of secondary color like theme. Then it is also a container. This is the here is the container, and color is white. And I wrap this image inside a padding. So let's turn on the dark theme for this home screen. This is what it shows if we turn on the dark theme, but this is what we really want. So how we can do that? How we ship this one to that one? Let's check. So here the background color is secondary color like theme. But I already mentioned I have two variants for secondary color, one for the light theme and another for the dark theme. So I can define the secondary color on our theme for different color for light and dark theme. And here this container is a color of white, but as you can see, this color and this scaffold color are the same color. So we can use here our scaffold color instead of white. So on dark theme, it also use the same scaffold dark color. So you can use that. So at first, let's define our secondary color. On Flutter theme data, we easily define the primary color, but there is no direct way to implement the secondary color because secondary color on the available on the color schema. So what I did is I'm just copy the color schema and just modify the secondary color. For light theme, I'm defining secondary color light theme, and for the dark theme, I'm defining secondary color dark theme. Yes, obviously instead of theme dot light, maybe you can use theme of context dot color schema, then copy with secondary color, use secondary color. So what I did there. On this container, I'm using theme of context, color schema, secondary color. Obviously, this is the secondary color. It looks perfect. Yes, you see, it used the dark version for dark theme. It used the dark version of the secondary color. For light theme, it used the light version of our secondary color. Also this and also on this container I'm using theme of context scaffold background. So for white theme it used this color, white background color, and for dark theme it used this background color. You see, you just need to know the tricks. There's nothing fancy stuff for that light and dark theme. You just need to implement a few tricks, and your app looks pretty good or amazing. Then I just create a card for our job card which contain those tags, and this button is same for light theme and dark theme. And also inside the row, I'm using icon and those office information, date, and the location of the company, which is the card, and how I need to pass our image. Just and all of those are fixed. I need to pass the logo. For them, I'm doing that. Obviously, for real life, we don't just pass the image. So let's create list of our jobs. If you're familiar with Flutter, then most of the time you see for list view we are using list view.builder. Then why I'm using separated here? Actually, for each card, I want a space here. after each card I want a space. That's why I'm use separated list build separated. Well, it allowed me to add a extra space after each card. That's why I'm using it, and those are fixed now because it's a demo. I'm using 5 cards here. It shows perfectly fine. Now add this floating action button, which help us to change the theme. So on scaffold, we have a floating action button, and which also Flutter gives us a widget called floating action button, which is this one. I'm defining background color, text color, light theme. Why I'm using this color? Actually, my plan is to for light theme the color of this button will be black. For the dark theme, the color of this button will be white. That's my plan. And icon the dark mode. And I already told you guys that I'm using gatex. I'm using gatex for changing the theme. And so let's implement and gatex to our app. If you want to use gatex, then you need to change your material app with get material app. That's it. You don't need to do anything else for this app right now because we are not using any state management kind of stuff. Just change your material app with get material app. So come to our floating action button. On Gate pretty easily. We can, if we are using Gate, we can easily access our theme, text theme, or scaffold background color instead of theme and theme of context using just Gate.text theme and body text one color. I'm using in here this color. Why I'm using actually body text color? Because on the light theme, the body text color is dark. This is what we want, and the and dark theme, the body text color is white. This is what we want. We don't need to define another color. We just use a trick here. And if on the Gate, it just if you're using Gate, you just call the change theme mode, and Gate.isDark mode is a boolean. If we are in dark mode, then I'm changing the mode to light. Otherwise, it change the mode to dark, and this work smoothly, as you can see. Also, I'm using different icons for light theme and dark theme. As you can see, night mode icons are this. So those are the material icon. Thank you guys. This all from me today. Hope you learned something new. And those are the resources I'm providing. You can find this whole project on GitHub. You can check it. Or if you want to know more about Flutter, how to use light theme, dark theme, or how you can create responsive app or beautiful UI, then you maybe check my channel called the Flutter Way. I really appreciate that. And especially thanks to Lifong for inviting me this event.
Right. So one from Andrew Lam. So how to choose between Flutter and React Native? So I guess
Actually,
this is quite a common question, right?
Yep, it's pretty common. Actually, it totally depends on you. Both are capable of doing great stuff, but it requires, if you're actually, I'm not that much experienced with React Native. That's why I'm not explaining a lot of stuff on React Native. But on Flutter, they already provide. They're capable of doing pretty good stuff. As I mentioned already, Google, BMW, Toyota using Flutter. So what does it mean? They are big companies, and a lot of they need to handle a lot of users. So Flutter already proved its capability to handle a pretty big audience. And other hand, and Flutter, if you're using Flutter, I don't know about that much on React Native, but if you're using Flutter, it's pretty easy to build beautiful UI, as already I already explained on this slide. How easily I can create those two screens, which look, for my eyes, it look amazing. And for React Native, I think you need to style. Yeah, obviously React Native has the benefits of using CSS. I think if you're not familiar with CSS, you can encode the app. But trust me, on Flutter widget, at the beginning, it's feel like, yeah, there's a lot of widget. No, I need to learn a lot of stuff. But it's just pretty similar with CSS. You can pro at it pretty soon. or just you need to play with one or two projects.
Right. Thanks for the question, Andrew. So now one more question from Tang Jun Xiong. So, hi Abu, could you recommend the illustration library that you use in your app for app images or animations, etc.?
Actually, I'm not a guy who is good at UX. Actually, I have a team. They build those kind of 3D icon or vector for me, and they provide me the UI. I'm coded that. But if you are a programmer or coder, I'm not recommend you to waste your time to doing those kind of illustrator. Just as you may ask a designer, please, can you do that? Or if you want design like me, I think Dribble is the best place for or find those kind of good images or UI. Just go to the dribble.com. I think you will love their work. And most of the most of the UI is free, so you can download it and use it. This is what I did actually.